Hello and welcome to this video series where we're checking out submissions to the Dungeoncrawler Gamejam of 2023. This time we will have a look at Soulcleaver, Escape from the Abyssal Dungeon by Reece, Tarrant. And let's quickly go over the description here. Soulcleaver, Escape from the Abyssal Dungeon is the first-person dungeon crawler. You play as a lone adventurer who has found himself trapped in a dungeon with no memory of why you're here. The only thing you know is that you see a sword nearby and that you need to escape from the dungeon. Alright. Controls is the usual, and a left mouse button, click on enemy when you are right next to it to attack. That sounds extremely simple, so we will see how that plays out. Escape is pause menu. And then we have got some credits for sound. No mention of graphics, so I guess that this is original. And with that, let's jump into the game. And here we are. Escape from the Abyssal Dungeon, Soulcleaver, new game. You have woken up in a dungeon in the southwestern kingdoms. You know not why you are here, only that those kept there tend not to make it out alive or last long. You see a jet black greatsword sitting right in front of you, but you hear sinister whisperings closely as if the voices are emanating from the sword itself. Nice music. You would normally be skeptical about a sword whispering to you, but you disregard the whisperings. You need a fighting chance, and now you have one. Alright. The first perspective is not the greatest. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, we were very close to a wall. Maybe not the best starting position. Alright. Yeah, the perspective is... I'm not quite sure why it is that way. So, basically the camera is... so, right next to us is a wall, right? And we cannot see... Well, this way for you. You cannot see the wall at all. We are basically... Kind of the camera is at the front, very front of the tile. It's actually hard to even make it like this, that you cannot see the wall there in this this perspective. We really have the camera at the very front of the tile. So yeah, that makes orientation harder, because now we can't tell whether or not we can turn right, sidestep right. You can sidestep in the game. Yeah, orientation is not the greatest, but you could also see you could have avoided that wall in your face at the very start if the perspective was different. Basically, if we were now standing on this tile, that would have been pretty much perfect. But yeah, the camera is... Oh, and this... I'm not sure what this was. Regarding the movements, yeah, it's unfortunately also not queuing up any movement. And it has the issue with movement on button up. So let me show you. Bloop. So on my keyboard now, if I press backward, nothing is happening. And only once I release, I'm moving. So while button up is a thing for mouse controls, if you have a button on the screen and you're clicking on that with your mouse, then you might want that it's on button up so that you can move away the mouse and decide differently even though you already clicked. But with key presses, that's a different issue. You want to have the reaction right away, and so this is a problem, because even if you walk normally, it always gives you an artificial delay until you actually move. So yeah, button down instead of button up would be better. And of course, it's also not queuing anything. I mean, I'm not sure if that's even really possible with button ups. So you can probably, yeah, press two buttons at the same time, then release. Like now I've got forward and turn right pressed, and I release this first, and now I release that. So yeah, I mean, of course that works, but it's not really helping. Nobody would do that. So, I'm not sure if this is an enemy. I think we are fighting against it when I'm just clicking. We're definitely losing hit points. Dead. And we're filling up our experience bar here. So yeah, you would usually think that now I'm already standing basically next to the wall. But you can do another step and you're basically bumping with your head in the wall. I'm not sure how we can... Maybe we get healed? Ah, yeah, we can move in and out that to get healed. Of course, there's no tactical depth within these fights. We're just clicking until it's toast. But the same issue here, basically. We are basically already standing directly next to the enemy. And it would feel much more natural if we if we were able to attack it if we were still one tile away from like the distance. So now I would assume I would be able to attack, but that's not possible. So I need to bump into the enemy. And it's dead. Let's run back. Zzzt. Zzzt. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Regarding the graphics, I mean, that's super basic and also not really on the pretty side. And the sound, as it was mentioned in the credits, it's used from external resources. I think the combat sound and also the whispering from the healing thing is nice. The background music I find to be too repetitive. I think we need to move away. Okay. And I guess we already finished. Maybe there are more levels. Nope. As soon as you exit from the first floor of the dungeon, you feel yourself become stronger and stronger with each life taken by the sword. With increased strength comes improved memories. You start to remember that you were once a noble adventurer tasked with fighting monsters and protecting the innocent. Now you are getting out of a dungeon riddled with monsters similar to those you once fought against. Ah, okay, so we can... there's more than just this one level. And we can try to get a level up. So yeah, the graphics didn't really change, and I'm also not sure where we actually are. Like, this doesn't really look like a dungeon or anything. Let's see what happens once we get a level up. We are healed. Okay, it doesn't tell us what we get, so maybe we have more hit points, maybe we do more damage. I don't know. Okay. Okay, this is dead end. I don't really want to fight that thing if I don't have to. I mean, it is XP, but... Nah. Die! I mean, it's risky. If we need heal after that, we are screwed. Which might be very much the case. Nope. We can heal up. Alright. Yeah, let's just avoid these and... Once you exit the second floor, more memories flash back to you. You are sent to this dungeon by the king of this land. Sentenced to this dungeon, I deem you, he exclaims. If madness does not get you, the many monsters in the dungeon most certainly will. The taunting exclamations of the king as he passes the sentence fills your soul with both anger and concern. A king who knowingly sentences criminals to a dungeon filled with monsters must be very inhumane indeed. Right. Okay, there's some healing. Okay, more healing, and there's also... Yes. But we should probably try and kill these now. Who knows what awaits us at the end. It might very well be that it's impossible to kill, like, the final boss or whatever there might be. Alright. Yeah, not the most interesting fight. Let's see if we can find healing juice like this. And we got another level up. Alrighty, let's go back and foop, foop. Ah, this is the door already. Yeah, so you see the issue, like, we are standing next to the door and this is what the door looks like. It's a bit problematic if the camera is so much in the front of the tile. Alright. Once you exit the third floor, you remember when you first came across the sword. You knew a mad dwarf surrounded by slaves calling out to you as you took the sword from the pedestal of a temple. "You cannot take the sword," he calls out. "You will ruin everything." When you hear those words, the flashback ends, and you remember no more, satisfied that your taking the sword has thwarted an evil plan. It's quite a way back to the healing, though. Now I hope that this is not like 100 levels or something. Alright, let's go back. And another gun. Here. And next level. As you make your way out of this fourth floor, you remember the inscription on the pedestal as you pick up the blade. "Here rests the cursed blade. May it never see another soul devoured." You hear the dwarf's continued exclamation before you see your past self hold the dwarf up by the neck as you ram the sword through his heart, shutting him up for good. You cannot describe how you felt back then, but Noble is not the word you would use to describe the disturbing satisfaction that you felt from watching his blood coat the blade and feeling his body gain a greater lifelessness as if his soul were ripped from his body. Okay, that seems to be a dead end, so let's do this one. We can we? No, we cannot. Just run past the enemy. And there was no healing juice, right? Yeah, I think we are dead now. Brr, restart level. Ah, okay, so you don't need to start from scratch. But let's see if we can okay, level up. Of course, if I'm not killing everything, I'm basically getting weaker in comparison every level if the enemy is getting stronger, and I think they are getting stronger, but I'm not sure. As you make your way through to the final floor of the dungeon, you see a lone creature standing in the middle of an open area. The Slime King, empowered by dark magics, now stands between you and your final destiny. The Slime King. Oh no, okay. So this seems like we can just kill him. Oh, okay. Slime King does a lot of damage. We cannot attack him. Maybe only from one side. Maybe we need to kill his slimy children. Alright. Next one. Not quite sure why we need like 3 blocks for healing in this room. I don't think that this is even necessary, and it will probably not help us at all with defeating the final slime boss. Alright. Let's try again. Nope. We just get damage. So I think that might not even possible to beat. Because we just can't attack it. Yeah, so either we need to have a higher level to unlock that, but my guess is that it's just broken. Yeah, let's die and see. Restart level. Yeah, we just can't click there. So I guess it's broken and we died. Alright, so yeah, as I mentioned, the perspective is off The camera is at the very front of the tile, which is an issue. Key down should activate the move instead of key up. Besides of that, the graphics, I mean, they're very basic. The sounds, I think the background loop is a bit too repetitive. The sounds otherwise, I think are fine. Don't think we have any like movement noise here. Basically it's just two sounds, right? The cling cling and this swirly noise. Maybe there's something else I didn't notice. I don't see what the duality thing is here. I mean, we have an evil sword, but probably it's about good and evil or something, but it's definitely not a strong topic. Regarding the content, I think if the combat or so would be more interesting, that is actually not bad. I mean, the level, I mean, in terms of what the length is of the dungeon, I mean, that's right, just fine. But of course, you would expect that every dungeon is a little bit different, maybe different enemies, and if it's just as dummy, like different cubes, so that they show, okay, they are stronger or something like that. Yeah. I mean, it's a very, very basic dungeon crawler, right? So there are some things I would definitely change. I mean, even as like the demo version or jam version or whatever, that you like the perspective and the movement. I think there are two things which maybe the developer still wants to play around with to get that right. But yeah, that's Soulcleaver, Escape from the Abyssal Dungeon. Ah yeah, by the way, the texts in between I found quite nice, so that there's a bit of story. But the story was kind of disconnected to the game, besides of having a slime monster. So having more of the story in the actual game would have been nice. So yeah, Soulcleaver, Escape from the Abyssal Dungeon by Reece Tarrant. You can find the link down in the video description if you want to check it out. And if you want to check out other videos I did so far for the jam entries, you can find a playlist down in the video description with all the stuff I put in there so far. And you can of course also subscribe to the channel to not miss any of the new videos I publish. And with that, thank you for watching and hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.